So, holy shit, look. What the fuck is this? Welcome back to another stream. I got this game in the mail this week. It was on a sort of sale on Amazon.uk. It was like 13 or 14 euros. So I was like, okay, let's check it out. I haven't heard that many good stories about the game, but I did like AKIBA'S Strip 2 a lot. And of course, if you know me, you know, I'm such a huge fan of Japanese RPGs. Most RPGs I actually kind of like. So even if they're bad for the main public, and especially the Western review sites. So begin the game. I'm still playing Monster Hunter. I'm still playing, you know, Kuni. I only need 12 citizens and I have them all. And so yeah, I'm closing in on not platinum trophy, but you know, beating the game pretty good and having some good trophies for the game.
Each bearing a wish upon it. But what are those wishes?
Hey, what's up, Skip Baileys?
They wish for love.
Sea of Thieves definitely what I have heard isn't that. It's a good game.
Could you really call such
but
absurd hopes
it lacks content, a little bit like No Man's Sky.
Well,
But No Man's Sky was actually not that well programmed. But Sea of Thieves at least looks really good. It reminds me of The Order, where The Order looks incredible. It's still one of the best looking games on ps4. But you know, gameplay and content wise, not that much.
In a way, that's a power, one granted exclusively to the human race.
Okay.
Delusions allow people to wallow in their most idealized, impossible dreams, free from reality. In fact, it can be said without a shred of hyperbole that this is man's single true joy. But humans, oh, they are well aware that their delusions do not in any way represent reality. Yes,
but Crap Gamer is a delusional Xbox fanboy
of reality.
who
But that's precisely the reason
just doesn't see the reality. Here, reality.
They serve. And yet, what if a delusion were to suddenly become real? Could you think of anything more wonderful? That, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason I exist. Now, draw the curtain. Indulge in a spectacular delusion that transcends your wildest dreams.
I'm getting a little bit of Persona. Holy shit, I am getting fucking fat. Holy shit. God damn. Holy shit. What's up, Open Alpha 01? Oh yeah, the gameplay is a little bit like Tales of, right? Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Yeah. Holy shit, who did that?
Oh, now where must this be?
Encounter, oh, you get encounters like that.
Come and get me.
Push left stick, no shit.
Not so hot like this.
Yeah, I'm not a smart guy. I can't make up a really good April Fool's joke. But I was like, whatever. This is the best joke I can make. This is only on PlayStation 4 and I think also on PC. It really reminds me of Artunelico. Is it Artunelico? I think it's Artunelico on PS3. It's actually a pretty interesting game. Had incredible music. And Tales of. No, it's more like Tales of. It does look pretty good though. It's what was that sound? Really weird sound.
Could this be a delusion all its own?
Oh, you probably get
No problem.
guarding, yeah. That is fucking stupid.
Not so fast.
Really? Do I need that? Can I just skip this shit? No. Oh, you have an Xbox One S? Well, you know, the thing is that in the beginning, you know, people were waiting for Scalebound, and of course, like Fable was rumored, and of course you had Scalebound that people were excited for, and one by one, all these games got cancelled, and the studios got closed down. So, and what was the other game that? What's the game? Crackdown. That's the game I want to say. You know, Crackdown kept delaying and delaying. You have to understand that Crackdown 3 was kind of announced at the beginning of this generation, of the beginning of the Xbox. And we still, well, the Xbox gamers still don't have the game. It is exactly the same as Sony announcing Uncharted 4 and it hasn't been released yet. People would have been bitching about Sony every freaking day. Every time. Like, where the hell is Uncharted? I remember Uncharted should have came out in 2015 and it got delayed to 2016 and people were angry about that. I'm like, okay, and the same goes with Gran Turismo and God of War, and now we have Days Gone that got delayed. People are, you know, bitching about it. What the difference is that, you know, Sony released other games. You on Xbox, you don't really have any other games. So the only advantage Microsoft has right now to go up against Nintendo and Sony is saying, hey, we have an Xbox One X that can, you know, if developers utilize it, have incredible graphics and have like 60 frames on 1080p. You know, we have the best looking and best playing third-party games. But that is not, at least what I think and what we're seeing nowadays, is that exclusives are a lot more important than just having third-party games, because Sony also has those third-party games, and the difference between them are not that great. No, it's not like Xbox One ps4 is like SD and Xbox One X is like 4K. I mean, it's a small difference, but it's a difference nonetheless. Though, don't get me wrong. Well, you know what the thing is? Gears of War is actually one of the coolest looking games on Xbox. I have played Gears of War 1 myself, because my brother was a Xbox fan. He had Xbox and Xbox 360 that I actually got it for him. I have no idea why I did that, but I'm a nice guy. He wanted an Xbox, so I got one. And Halo, in the beginning, I like the original Halo, in my opinion, was pretty cool. Because I loved alien invasion films and games, and I was like, oh, that's cool. It's like an alien invasion, and it looks really good. But the thing is it's the same as what I always talk about with God of War and with Uncharted, is that you get one Uncharted, it's awesome, it's cool. You get two Uncharteds, it's hailed as one of the best action games ever, it's incredible. You get Uncharted 3, and then you already feel like, hey, I've already played this. I've already done this. And then you got Uncharted 4, and then you're at a point where you're like, okay, maybe it's time that the developers make something different. And yes, Uncharted 4 is incredible. Don't get me wrong, it's incredible. It looks incredible, it plays great. And don't get me wrong, we are probably going to get a 4K 60 frames edition on PS5. Will I buy it? Probably. Or probably not, because, it all depends on what my mood is at that time and what type of games are coming out at the time. But having a little bit of frame rate extra isn't particularly my interest, since Uncharted 4 ran pretty well. But you know what my point is that with Uncharted 4, I was already like, it's time for, it's time for something different, something else. I have had it. Then Uncharted The Lost Legacy came out, and in a small way, it is different than the other Uncharted games. It's more open, you can do the things at your own pace. And there were totally different characters, especially Chloe, who I absolutely loved. So I was like, okay, it's pretty cool. And it's a small game, and it wasn't expensive. And it came out pretty early, so I was like, okay, that's nice. And the same said with God of War. It's like you had God of War 1 and 2, and they were great games, and God of War 3 came out, and it was incredible. But I did feel like maybe it's time to stop God of War, because you also had the two PSP games.
Whether you exist within reality.
And then you got God of War Ascension, and even though the game was great, it just felt too much more of the same. I was totally done with the Greek mythology and the battle system of God of War. With the battle system. And so I had said many times in videos and in streams that if they would make a new God of War, hopefully it's going to be different. Hopefully, it still could be with Kratos, but make it in Japan or China or India, make it something else. And ta-da, it freaking happened. We still have Kratos, but totally different. Totally different. So I extremely look forward to God of War, and if you read all the previews, everyone is excited about the game. Digital Foundry was pretty impressed at how the game looks and how the game runs. They have announced a boost mode, a performance mode on PS4 Pro. That will probably, I'm not entirely sure, but it will probably, make stuff like frame rate. Well, the thing is that a frame rate on the original the game already runs pretty well. I don't expect, even on the original PS4, to have frame rate issues. That would be pretty bad, to be honest. But I expect more like pop-ups and draw distance to be a lot better on the performance mode on PS4, where of course the 4K mode is more crisp and clear. Are there Xenoblade 2 shirts on Sea of Thieves, really? God of War, you know, as I mentioned, the first one was really good up until 3, and then it just felt a lot more of the same, and same with Uncharted, and I have the same with a lot of games. A lot of games that has 1, 2, 3, 4 and just keep the same stuff, like Halo, Gears of War. It in my opinion, gets boring. I don't understand how that could be fun. If you're a Halo fan, how can Halo be fun when you've been playing the same game every year, of every iteration of the game? Like, I'm a Final Fantasy fan, but if I would play Final Fantasy 7 each time, I would go nuts. I'm not entirely sure how this game runs, probably 1080p 60 frames, but it looks pretty good, to be honest. Ah, this is a little bit disappointing. So you don't actually see people compared to, you know, AKIBA'S Strip 2. I think they actually, yes, they use the same environments. Oh, holy shit. That is pretty bad.
It's a matter, sure, but
Oh, hello, Master.
That's probably, you know, all these games that are on Vita and on PS4 and PC, whatever. You know, they all have, how do you say it, like, the Vita holds these games back. And I think that's why I love that the Switch is here. Because yes, the Switch is still underpowered compared to PS4, and when PlayStation 5 gets announced, probably next year or 2020, the Switch will be extremely underpowered, yes. But for Japanese games that are mostly not graphically heavy, it's going to be much better. We are probably going to see a huge amount of Japanese games, you know, 1080p, 60 frames and stuff.
Take this flyer as a souvenir.
thing. Wait, didn't this place used to be a bunny ear cafe like a month ago?
That was then. This is now. Bunny ears are way out. And kitty ears.
Man, Akiba doesn't waste any time replacing little pop-ups like this, does it?
Yeah.
Crap, it's missing. Hey, hello?
Don't you hello me. You kept me waiting for 2 hours.
Sorry.
I love Xenoblade. At least Xenoblade 2. There is a little slight problem though, is that, and I still need to make a video for that.
Are you anyway?
Oh, I'm on my way, I swear.
But I have made up my mind though, is that I probably, well, I have made up my mind, I will
I'll be here.
sell my Switch for the reason that I just don't play it. The whole point of getting the Switch, in my opinion,
Definitely not happy with me.
is that I could, you know, I travel 2 hours a day to work and go back home at public transport, and that was
Sorry, but I gotta run.
wasted time. So I was like, the Switch is perfect for that. Absolutely perfect for that. Now that I have my car, I don't have wasted time anymore, since I drive home in like 15 minutes if there's no traffic jam. So, and besides, like, I've played Zelda, Mario, and Xenoblade, I still want to play Bayonetta. That is true. That is completely true. That's gonna suck. But with the increase in games for PS4, you know, they're getting more and more and more. and my budget for games is getting lower. Well, it's at its lowest point right now and will probably stay there. I just don't see myself buying things like Kirby for 40 bucks or Donkey Kong for 50 bucks and actually play it in such a way that I think that I got my money's worth. So I've thought about this for quite a while. I was like, should I do it or not? Because I really enjoyed Zelda and Mario and Xenoblade. I really enjoyed these games. But I thought about this for about 2 months now. Kind of like when Monster Hunter came out, there where it begins, because I was like, I'm gonna play Monster Hunter a lot, I don't need to play anything else, and that's probably still right. I'm still going to, what is that? Is that this Gaia 5, really? Well, they actually used the same Akiba from AKIBA'S Strip 2, I guess. It's nice though, I don't give a shit. I'm a god. What is that? Yeah, they use the same stuff. Gossen, isn't that like Sega? Okay, whatever. But yeah, so beginning of the week, I always am someone that friends go first, so I ask my friends, do you have interest in a Switch? And one of them actually has interest. So it's pretty much sold already. He's gonna pick it up later this week. Of course, there are a couple of my friends who say, oh, you're gonna regret this, and maybe. Holy shit, it is exactly the same from AKIBA'S Strip 2. Holy shit. That is funny. I understand though, because it's a small budget game, and I mean, they already had everything, so why not just, use it? But it's kind of lame. Because AKIBA'S Strip 2 actually had real people in the world. Where do we actually have to go? I have no idea. Can you actually see somewhere? Oh wait. Oh, here, main story. Oh, all the way there. Okay. Power means nothing if you don't have exclusives. That is completely true, and I think I actually read somewhere that Nintendo offers their engine that they use for their games for third-party developers. So that is extremely good, since Nintendo makes pretty good-looking games on weak hardware and runs extremely well. Mario looks pretty good and runs at a fluid 60 frames, so that is incredible. Maybe later, if there are more games for the Switch that I really want. Because the point is that also one of the problems I kind of have is that the Japanese games. I always talk about the Japanese games. I want the Japanese games. That's why I got the Switch. And you probably will get a couple of exclusive Japanese games, but as of right now, besides a couple of indies and Octopath Traveler, every Japanese game that gets announced is either only for PS4 or Switch and PS4, and PS4 will get the better version, will get the better running version. And I don't see that trend ending. I don't see Switch getting a huge amount of exclusives, because PS4 is still selling pretty well. And especially in the West, Japanese games are getting more important to market in the West than in Japan. If you, for example, look at Ni no Kuni, It sold pretty bad in Japan, though it's selling really well in the West.
Do you have any idea how late you are? How long you kept me waiting?
No, I know. It's just that, you know, on my way here.
Oh, yes.
Stuff happened.
Stuff. Okay, I'll play along. What sort of stuff happened today?
Well, I was talking to a maid.
Huh? So, maids before bros, huh?
No, that's not it. That is so...
Then by all means,
Okay, so first she just kind of called out to me. Then she was all, there's gonna be a cattier cafe opening. I mean, you know.
What the?
I
Here I was all ready to yell at you, and now you've got me laughing and... Guess it's not too surprising, though. Against all odds, you've always had bizarrely good people.
I have? Wait,
I mean it. You might not have ever noticed it, but you're good at interacting with your... I mean, you've had me waiting here half a day to give you this stupid magazine. Isn't that proof enough? Speaking of, take it.
oh, it's so beautiful. The last, thank you so much.
Okay.
It's no problem. I was on my way to work anyway, which I'd be late for if you kept me waiting another 30 minutes. It's still...
Wait, you got work on a Saturday? Man, you're pretty much all... It suits you, though. Tutoring junior high kids, I mean. It's a very
Well, what about you, Asahi? Any big plans today? Or are you gonna head home, read, shop, and go to bed?
Hey, that plan is plenty big. And don't act like I don't have a life. I'll have you know there's more waiting for me than just chop. I've got anime and games to finish, too.
In other words, you're gonna piss away the night with nerd stuff and go to sleep sometime tomorrow morning.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
Still living the neat lifestyle to the fullest.
What can I say? I'm a career NEET. It's my vocation, my
What the
passion.
fuck is neat?
Such a waste.
Probably a different word for nerd or anime, gamer, whatever, but what the fuck? What just... What?
Anyways.
Hey, what's up, Halcon? No, there is no Super Mario Maker for Switch, and it probably will get announced since Nintendo is porting pretty much all their games from the Switch, from the Wii U to the Switch.
Well, that's enough act.
It's kind of funny that, especially Sony in the beginning was named Port Station because of Last of Us and all the other ports, and especially from Xbox and Nintendo fans. And now that Nintendo is pretty much porting everything, all of a sudden it's the best thing ever. It's cool though, I don't give a shit about it, but because I don't care about ports. You know, some games deserve support, like The Last of Us. Some games I'm like, whatever, I already got the game. Maybe it does not run at 60 frames, but whatever. You know, I already played it. That is kind of something that I found out for myself, and that's why I kind of stopped buying ports or remasters on PS4, because stuff like Devil May Cry and Dishonored and The Last of Us and stuff, they're all ports and remasters of PS3 games running at 60 frames, and I always think like, hey, I'm gonna get this game because then I can play it on 60 frames, but I'm not gonna play the game because I already played it. It's not that weird, but you would think, hey, you want to have the best version possible, and that is probably the only reason I would get the game. I want to have the best version possible, but I don't really play it. Where do I have to go? Oh, there. Yeah, but you can kind of guess that pretty much all of them will be ported. Keep out, okay. You know, they probably will all be ported to actually, I have to go there. Oh, well, difference. I can't wait for Yakuza! When I see stuff like this, I'm always like, Yakuza! Yakuza! These areas where you have to go back and forth, they are really because of the restrictions of the Vita. You can clearly see that.
Wrong. What? It's all wrong. This isn't the way Say what now? Why'd Akihabara have to change so much? It used to stand for... It was an audiophile's paradise, filled to bursting with dreams, desires, and... What the heck's he talking about? But look at it now. It's a mess. Yep, this dude's nuts. Not the kind of person I should... Are Akihabara's audiophile days truly dead and buried? Oh, they just up and left without saying goodbye. I'd better get home before this weirdo tries to talk to me or something.
Okay. It's kind of annoying that you don't know where to go. So you always have to check out your map and see where you have to go. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, probably travel point to go home. Okay, I understand that. Furnish you. Twilight night, okay. Return home. Oh, this is his home. That's a small home though.
I'm home, he said to nobody. I'm exhausted. I think I'll kick things off with a power nap. It's not good night, Moon.
But if he's such a big anime and games fan, where are all his anime and games?
Who's calling me? Hello?
Meow,
You
whoa.
just woke up, didn't you? Do you have any idea?
Oh, hey, music.
Wrong answer. It's almost midnight. That's about as far from morning as you can get.
Oh, wow. Did I really sleep that long? Wait, why are you calling?
No, I don't exactly need it. It's just that someone was so late earlier, I didn't get much chance to talk.
So, does that mean there's something you wanted to talk?
Are you seriously this dense? We've been friends since, what, grade school? Then all of a sudden you drop out of college and go full neat. Of course I want to talk.
It probably will
I'm
have.
worried about you. Are you
Yes.
right? Have you put any thought into your future?
It probably will have something like a home console only, a handheld only version, maybe like a Switch Pro.
Well, sorry, but you'll be happy to know that I think about my future every day. I've gotta find...
Are you serious right now? God, just tell me you're eating food that, like, might actually...
Potatoes technically count as vegetables.
Yeah, no. Guess I was right to be worried about you. Your health's probably a train wreck by now.
Food is fuel. Have you ever seen a train wreck run like me before?
Yeah. I take it you're gonna be free.
Hey, stop assuming I have... I mean, you're right, I am free, but that's beside the point.
Then let's go grab lunch together. You'll get something that'll actually be good for you for a change.
Oh, you're treating? Well, when do you get out of class? When do you want to meet?
Wait, you do know I don't have school on the weekend, right? We're moments away from a Sunday, remember? I guess Anid wouldn't need to know what day it was anyway.
No school on Sundays, right. I forgot. See...
I'm sure it is. Anyway, I'll shoot you an email with the time and the...
Roger that. I'll probably be up around noonish, give or...
If you're gonna be late, let me know. Make me wait around again.
Cool. I'll be waiting on your wake-up call then.
I'm not your mother. Okay, later.
Night, Mom.
That'll be pretty good. The D-pad on the Joy-Cons are pretty bad.
Man, that music is always looking at... I don't think I eat that bad.
But especially when like the next generation of systems comes out, because no, Switch is not a 9th generation system. They probably will have some sort of an upgrade.
What I want, when I want, how I want. Speaking of, it'll be tomorrow any second.
Not entirely sure how that works though. Since
Well, that was quick.
PS4 Pro, well, the PS4 Pro sells pretty well. Xbox One X, okay, also sells pretty well, but not mind-blowingly.
2 o'clock by the Fossman. I'm not your mother, he says.
And how does it really work on a handheld? Not entirely sure. To be honest, I think that if Nintendo just keeps pouring out good games that people want, that the system will sell itself.
Why would anyone need to call me? Why, hello, Mizuki. Isn't it just beautiful out today?
Don't you try to sweet talk me. Just how long did you plan on sleeping?
Well, what time is it now?
It's 2:30.
Seriously?
How come people sleep so long though?
Do you have even the faintest idea how worried I was? And after I told you over and over not to over...
Well, I had a lot on my plate last night.
Oh? Was it anime? Games? Or were you just tooling around on the internet?
All of the above.
I really shouldn't be surprised at this point.
I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Where are you right now?
I told you in my email. I'm right by the Foss map on Main Street.
I'm heading there right now.
Sure. Just don't forget to wash your face before you head out.
Damn it. I can't believe I did this to him 2 days in a row.
I am never late, by the way. I am someone who is always strict on time. I hate being late, and I hate it when people are being late. Really? What? Wow. It's a good-looking room, but it's freaking small. Holy damn. Holy damn. Wow. Okay. Well, you do have a Pro controller for the Switch that looks pretty good.
Oh, hey.
Cat Ear Cafe, Neon Dreamin' is now open.
Hey, you're the cat girl maid from yesterday. Which makes sense and...
I remember you from yesterday too. Are you here to patronize? Because our grand opening special is going on
sorry. I've got a friend waiting for me again. Same friend, actually. But I'll be back for you.
Aw, okay. See you next time.
Fastest way to Foss map is... time to make track.
Okay, you can use the Wii U controller, Pro Controller too, that's pretty good. Well, I do like the Switch controller though. But I understand that if you play like a fighter, it probably will be bad.
The heck? What's going on here? This...
You feel it too, don't you? The sense that there's something wrong.
do I?
I know you. At least, I know that this delusion is making you uneasy. If it weren't, we wouldn't be speaking right.
Oh, creepy.
Hear me out, would you?
Me?
It'll be fine. This will only take...
I really...
Just answer my question. Do you, or do you...
I don't need to sense it. Anyone can see that there's something weird.
What say you, Pin-kun? Could he be...
The cause of...
Never you mind. Just tell me.
What does what look like? Look,
Come on out, Pin-kun. Just leave him to me!
did that stuffed animal just...
How rude! I may be positively adorable, but I am not I'm a familiar bound to Saki's family...
Wait, hold on, you've already lost me. How is this...
I told you, I'm not a stuffed animal! So you can sense Pin-kun's mystical...
Sense its mystical nature? You're prank...
That clinches it. You're...
I'm a what now?
Come on, follow me.
Okay, hold on a sec. How many times do I have to tell you I'm supposed to be me?
Don't worry about it. I'm just taking you over there, even closer to the station building. Yes, mate!
Hey,
Okay.
did you notice I didn't agree? And they're gone. Damn it.
What took you so long? I'm not going to be this young and beautiful forever, you know.
Hey, I'm doing
Okay.
you a favor here. And what is all this anyway? It sure wasn't here yesterday.
I am looking out for a new PC though,
Oh, that reminds me.
but
What's your
I'll
name?
get it when Mountain Blade comes out and when the game is actually good.
It ain't a hard question, Chuckles. If you're lucky, we...
Okay. It's Asahi. Asahi Tachibana. I live
Tachibana.
And before you ask... Yeah,
Asahi. All right, I'll try to remember that. This little guy here is Pin-kun. Yo!
Pinku.
Sorry to just ask you strange questions out of the blue, but do you know what this object is, Asadachi?
Tachi with a T. And it's Asahi. Didn't you tell me you were gonna remember my name? And that's a good question. What is this thing? It looks like some kind of audio setup. Is this some kind of band thing or a publicity stunt for an audio shop? Either way, though, you'd figured it'd draw a crowd. Or at least people would have noticed it by now.
That's right. And I can assure you that this is no publicity stunt. Tell me, Asahi, are you a big fan of audio equipment? You know, speakers, headphones?
A big fan?
Well, there are some classics on PSN.
Not really. I mean, I like music as much as
But
the next guy, but...
definitely true. It would be cool if we had more PS4, PS1 classics on PS4.
Saki, I really don't think this
You know, if you want PS1 classic, you still have to get a PS3 and play it on your PS3. But you can't really stream it. That would be so cool, playing it on PS4. That you can stream these games.
Are you just trolling me now?
That said, I think he might just be one of us. Yeah?
Guys, I'm literally right here. You're kind of being super rude. Man, today's been crazy. First the station gets all weird, then stuffed animal.
I am not a stuffed animal!
Am I still sleeping? Yeah, that'd make sense.
No, I can assure you that this is not a dream. This is a delusion.
What is this marvelous vision?
Pin-kun, is he the one? Hisayoshi Honda! So he's the source of this.
This is amazing! Beyond astounding! Hey, you kids.
Huh?
Can't you see how those speakers sparkle in the light? Drink this. This is how AKIBA...
You okay, man? You need...
Asahi, now's the time to use your ears, not your mouth.
Let me tell you a little story. I'm the proprietor of Silver Sound. Snaudio's been running it for nearly 20 years.
That's an awfully long time to run a business here.
I hear you. But Silver Sound will cover all your audio needs. Amps, speakers, headphones. You name it, we got it. You're probably too young to remember, but AKIBA used to be an audio paradise. Me, I rode that wave from day one. Now it's all anime and idols and all that other garbage.
Yes.
Maybe I should say it was a mess. Either that's done and dusted, or I've misread this, because you look at it now, and the audio mecha's clearly back with a...
Crazy!
What was that dude's deal?
There's no longer any doubt. Hisayoshi Onda is the...
I totally nailed my prediction.
So it would seem.
Saki, look!
What?
That's the entrance. Come on, let's...
Wait. Hold up. I need an explanation. Get back here.
Yes, they could. They definitely could. Yeah. I got... shit. I got Suikoden 2 on PS3. I actually played it a lot. And Suikoden 2 is awesome. But the hard drive for my PS3 crashed and I lost all the saves, including that from Suikoden 2. And I was like, nope, I am not going to play it again.
Great. So, what's a delusion scape? And how's this freestanding door an entrance to anything?
It's very simple. That man we spoke to, Hisayoshi Onda, in doing so, it formed a path to a new delusion.
I've had my eye on that Ondo weirdo since yesterday.
Cool. But you do realize nothing.
I suppose we have no choice. The three of us will need to work for...
So, what? You're gonna wreck this door? And wait, did you...
How could you not? You're just as involved in this as we are now.
Look alive, boys!
Yeah.
Going in!
Whoa! Hold up! Wait!
You know, I'll be honest, like back in the day on PS1 and also on PS2, as a kid, and I never worked or something, I never had like kids work, because my parents were always like, kids don't need to work, so I got games on a regular basis from my dad and my mom. But
That settles it.
back then, like Final Fantasy 7 and 8 and Diablo and all these save files were pretty important for me personally, because those were the games I had, and I kept playing and playing and playing, and you know, and I still think that save files are pretty important, but from my experience from PS3 up until now, my experience is that if I have beaten a game, especially something like an RPG, I just never go back to it, because I'll go and buy the second game, or you know, another game. I couldn't do that when I was a kid, so having save files were a lot more important, because I kept playing and playing and playing. And of course you have the cloud save, but even the cloud save doesn't last forever. But for example, I got PS5 and my PS4 crashes. Would that suck? Yes, it would suck. I wouldn't like it. But then again, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care as much as I cared about it when I was a kid. Oh, Delusion Escape. You actually have to go there. Oh, there's a door. But I do care about it if, save file gets corrupted when I'm playing the game. Because that fucking sucks.
is this place? I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. Or even Akiba for that matter. Probably not the time to take in the sights, though.
Deluzio.
Go get him!
I'm not even sure what they're fighting. This has to be some sort of movie shoot.
This one's pretty tough. I said, this one's pretty tough. I'm afraid it's just too much for me to handle all the...
Yo, Asahi! You waiting for someone to paint you a picture or something? Get your...
Nope, I'm good. More than happy not to fight any unspeakable horrors. So,
Saki! Asahi's gonna run away! What? Wait! Or are you really going to abandon a girl in need in a scary...
this is your own damn fault. You're the one who brought us here in the first place.
Yeah, I know. That is really weird why the save file has a battery in it.
Whoa, but hey, are you alright?
She is so...
I guess that, you know, at that time, that was the best they could do. But it's still weird. There's probably like some sort of company who makes these batteries that you can still replace them. Because I know that retro gaming has become pretty big. There are companies who can make the boxes, you know, these cardboard boxes from Super Nintendo. They can make it almost one-on-one. Only the seal of Nintendo is not there yet.
I see our plan was a...
Wait, weren't you supposed to be in distress? I'm not seeing a lot of... oh, hell.
Thank you for coming to my rescue, Asahi. But...
Excuse me, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm a NEET. Strength isn't exactly our most widely praised asset.
Quit your belly aching. We're not asking you to punch him out or anything. What do you...
Huh? What?
The one in your right hand.
What?
You just noticed? You've had it in your hand.
What the hell? I mean, this is actually pretty bad. Okay, that's all.
Asahi! They're coming in for the camp!
I still have a million questions, but...
Encounter.
Victory is assured.
Pull you away! You like hit hard enough to revenge!
Take this! Find your mark! Take this!
Here we go. That qualifies as work, you know. Keep it up.
Nothing is impossible.
As
Yay,
expected.
level up.
Is that it?
Yes, I believe that's all of them. And I have to admit,
So what you're saying is I'm awesome? Not that that's surprising. In fact, I've been fighting for a long time. Probably should have mentioned it earlier.
how are you now? Tell me, just when and where have you been fighting?
Good questions. Before I go to sleep, in my head, and against an endless onslaught of But hold on a sec, that's beside the point. You keep telling me this isn't a dream, but let's be real here.
Pin-kun, please pinch Asahi's cheek.
With pleasure.
Oh, stop! Okay, you win! It's not...
It's important that you accept that. Everything that's happened is reality. And
Yeah. You see any cameras anywhere? Besides, what kind of casting director would ever put a NEET in a...
Are you making fun of me again? I feel like you're making fun of me again. But damn it, stop changing the subject! You're seriously saying those monsters... I can't even wrap my brain around how that's possible. And I don't want to.
there's no need to worry. We're going to be fine. As long as we have your power, Asahi.
This isn't a manga! How many times do I have to tell you? I'm going home for real this time. I may not have any prospects for the future. That doesn't mean I'm ready to...
So you're just going to throw us to the wolves and walk off then? In a dangerous place like this? With vicious creatures lurking around every corner ready to pounce on us?
And you call yourself a man.
Oh, we're doing this now?
Without you here to lend us your strength, I'll almost assuredly be overpowered and placed in grave whereupon the monsters will capture and inflict countless terrors upon me. You know, a little this, a bit of that.
Poor Saki. Asahi's stubborn refusal to help means that you have a brief but agonizing life of...
Alas. Come on, Pin-kun. Asahi may not be willing to join us. But
Shame. Still, you'll never have to worry about me abandoning you.
That's pretty funny.
I'll be right by your side.
Fine! I'll help, damn it! Will that shut the tube?
It sure will.
Well, I can't just take my sword and go home after a guilt trip like...
Thank you, Asahi.
I've even changed my opinion of you ever so slightly. You may be a NEET, but you're not that bad.
Well, there go any chances I had of a relaxing, carefree day at home.
All right. If you're ready, let's get going. We're headed for the deep...
Okay. Standard RPG gibberish.
Oh, I just did a fight.
Hey,
It's just 3 opponents. We'll win this easily. You found the weak spot. Do it like you're doing. 2 enemies left. Here we go.
You like this?
first
Two enemies
attack.
spotted. Commence sneaking mission.
No problem. Yeah. Do you get that? Ember's there.
It's the best chance. An enemy! Yeah! Surprise attack by 3 monkeys!
I'll blow you away.
That's not fair!
Ember's edge.
Let's all gang up on the poor thing!
Yeah,
This seems...
and
Shimmering.
there is a
First attack's ours. Let's make
explanation for that. Is that of course these games just sell a lot.
Here we go! Here we go!
You know, if Nintendo, if Sony games sold a lot
Here we go! Let's all
at a $60 price tag, then Sony wouldn't have lowered their games too. Trust me on it. If stuff like Uncharted or Horizon would sell millions at $60, Sony would keep the price high too. But it doesn't. It's something really weird, but only stuff like Grand Theft Auto and Nintendo games, they somehow keep selling at a really high price. Where third-party games and Microsoft and especially Sony exclusives, it doesn't matter how good they are, they always drop in price. Always. And that's of course one of the reasons why they keep selling. Because the price, gets lower. It's not a bad thing. There are some fans, especially Nintendo fans, to be honest, who thinks that that's a bad thing. You know, that Sony doesn't have the selling power like Nintendo, and they don't. That's true. But it's for the consumers, it's only good because you're gonna have more value for your system. You know, if you buy a PS4 and you want to have the exclusives, you probably will get cheaper than buying a Switch with all the exclusives, because their exclusives cost $60 or 50 or 40. It's a lot more expensive. But somehow that's the selling power of Nintendo. They always do that. It's really weird.
Here we go!
True, It would be better if Mario Kart 8 would be like 50 or 40, but again, it's selling like hotcakes. You know, it's selling incredibly well, so why would Nintendo drop the price?
Enemy spotted, and I don't want to fight. Two bogeys, but we totally got the jump on them.
Hot,
You found the weak point. Here we go. What you're doing? Fire mark. One enemy remains. Let's take him to the cleaner. I smell treasure. Find it, find it, find it!
I already got the treasure. Okay, so enemies don't respawn.
An enemy! Yeah! What are we gonna do?
Well, I want to kill it, but
There are only 3 enemies. No problem, right?
That's a hot embers day. Get that.
Here we go. That was hot. Left arrow. Here we go. Only 1 enemy remains. Let's all gang up on the poor thing.
did I open this? When? Oh wait, of course. Okay, going the wrong way. The wrong direction. Or do I? I don't know.
An enemy. You like that? 2 bogeys. But we totally got the jump on them.
Embers day. Embers day. Get that. Not so fast.
One enemy remains. Let's all gang up on the poor thing. Enemy spotted. It's just 3 opponents. We'll win this easily.
Hot.
Here it is. See? One enemy. Here we go. Take the path. Door. Don't forget to knock first. Safe break. Be careful you don't overwrite the wrong file.
Boss fight, probably. Wait up 5 seconds. 5 seconds. Oh, there's my fucking phone. I can reach it. Okay. Ooh, boss. But I'm a low level.
What the heck is this thing? It's got a totally different...
Just as every castle has its lord, so too does every
Who comes up with this stuff?
Look, we'll explain later, okay?
Don't let your guard down, Asaki. This creature's on an entirely different level. If we can defeat it, though, we'll keep the delusion from encroaching any further into the real world.
Damn it, all this gamey terminology is making my head throb. Saki, Pinkun, we're in this together now, so you'd better explain everything to me if we live through...
The enemy's all alone. Good.
No problem. Hot. Embers day.
Here we take this. Here we go.
Hot. Not
All right.
Embers day. Hot.
Yes, more HP.
Now you've done it. Side mark. Here we go. Don't. Here we go. No chance. Here we go. Now you Here we go.
It's almost dead. Hey, I killed it.
Nothing is impossible.
As expected. What kind of skill is this?
Racing. God damn it. Stupid little fucking phone.
Is
it over?
It is now. One way or another, we've managed to win the day. You fought well.
I thought I was gonna die back there. Can I take a break?
After we leave, we have to confirm that this delusion's encroachment upon the real world has been nullified.
See, you keep saying all these words, but they're not making any sense to me. Can I get an ex-
Hey, Dingus, did you hear us ask for your feedback? Now hurry up and
Let's get out of here.
It's good.
This-
How astute of you. Yes, as I mentioned before, we've nullified.
Hey,
What am I doing here? And then the station looked all. But what happened after? Maybe I'm just exhausted. There's something fishy going on around here, though. I don't know what it is, but it's real.
Something fishy.
off he goes.
The world's been saved from his delusion, and we can finally—
No, we cannot close the book on this incident. Not until you start from the beginning, and don't skip a single detail. And use words—
As you wish. I suppose you do have the right to know at this point. I'll tell you what's happening in this reality. And just—
So you better perk up your ears and listen close, cause she ain't gonna tell you twice.
Midnight.
So, what's the story? I've been absolutely...
That's a generous way to put it. As I said before, we nullified a delusion that was encroaching on reality.
Okay, so, the changes to the station where that guy...
Now you've got it. Those changes you saw were a delusion made manifest. And
Hold on. If someone's delusions start muscling in on reality, doesn't that just mean...
But you saw his delusion with your own eyes, didn't you? The station building reflected his only when we defeated the Grand Phantasm within the delusion scheme.
I mean, yeah, I saw something going on with the station, but someone else's delusion? That's a hard pill.
Would it go down easier if I told you not to think of it as a delusion at all?
Not really, because if that were the case, why wouldn't any of the other passers-by notice something was up?
That's the nature of delusions when they manifest themselves in reality. The only people able to see their effects are the ones who spawn them. And us.
Okay, so then the 100 million yen question is who, or what, I guess, are you?
We're chosen ones, destined to perceive delusions working their way into reality and eliminate them.
And I'm her familiar.
Does that mean I'm one of the chosen ones too?
Well, of course. And I'm very excited to work with you from here on out, Asahi.
Nah.
Yeah?
I still don't understand this whole encroachment business, and the only thing I'm chosen to be is a NEET. Besides, I'm a busy man. In fact, just today I'm already scheduled to meet up with a friend of mine for lunch. Crap!
What? What's wrong?
I got so caught up in all this nonsense. Man, he's got to be spitting fire by now. As if standing him up yesterday wasn't bad enough. Oh God, I've got an email. Better brace for impact. Oh, sweet. I just won 1 million yen and all I've got to do is click.
Wow, congratulations.
Damn it. It's just... Okay, Mizuki's gotta be mad at me. But there isn't even the slightest indication...
Well, it's rather rude to be late to 2 meetings in a row. I'm honestly shocked that...
You do realize it's your fault. Hey, this time it is from Mizuki. I sure hope he's... Huh?
What does it say?
2 o'clock by the Foss map on Main Street. Go to bed now so you don't oversleep.
My, he's still inviting you out tomorrow even after you skipped on your date? What an understanding friend.
No, that's not it. And it's not a date. This is exactly the same email he sent me yesterday.
What does that mean?
No way!
Now what's going on? You really need to...
Hey, Saki. Today was Sunday, right?
That's right. Though it's so late at this point, it must be Monday by now.
Would you do me a favor and check today's date on your phone?
Hmm? What? How can that be?
That's what I want to know. So tell me, Miss Delusion Buster, how can it be Sunday all over again?
And so began our Sunday. Our hectic, never-ending Sunday. Full of laughter and tears. Good times and bad. Honestly, it was kind of a disaster. But I had to write it out. For I was the chosen one. Yes, I was chosen. I was special. I truly believe that even now. Because thanks to this ludicrous Sunday, I've made so many wonderful memories.
So that was the introduction. Act 2 or something.
Alright, all of you out there at TV land, have you decided what you'll be eating for since it's a day off for all of you? Surely you prefer to enjoy a nice meal? Well, I'm here to let you know it's not too late, even now, for you.
The hell is Sobagetti? That's stupid. Man, it really must be Sunday if crap like... Hey, it's music. Hello?
Oh, you're actually awake. Now you have even less excuse for being late today.
Huh? What am...
Maybe you aren't as awake as I thought. Did you just hanging here at the main FOSMAP building? You know, the place we agreed we meet up at 2 o'clock? Oh, and for reference, it's 2:30. Was keeping me waiting yesterday really so much fun that you wanted to do it again?
So, just to be clear,
How could you possibly forget? I waited 2 hours.
what day was it yesterday?
Okay, now you're starting to worry me. Yesterday was Saturday.
Man, what is going...
What's going on with you? If you're so tired you don't even know what day it is, we can...
No, that's not it. That's not...
Well, whatever you're dealing with, I'll be in Akihabara a while longer. If you want some company, take care, Asahi.
Oh, hold up, music... I guess... all that craziness... No matter how many times I check, it's always gonna say Sunday. But Sunday should be over by now. Maybe I just need to go find Mizuki.
Okay, well, time to get some food in. So thanks all for watching. And seems to be not that bad of a game. Probably will beat it, of course. So see you next time.